Hey everyone, so either you're pregnant or you're thinking about getting pregnant and you're looking for tips and tricks on how to have a normal vaginal birth. And I had a normal vaginal birth with no tears, scratches, and they didn't have to cut me or anything. So I want to be sharing everybody the things that I did in order to have a normal vaginal birth. That way you can either try all of them or try some of them and hopefully they work out for you because I'm a first time mom and doing this, and the fact that I had a normal birth and vaginal, I guess, it was good because I didn't have to have no C-section or emergency C-section, and they didn't have to cut me. I didn't have no tears or anything because I've heard that when you have a tear and I guess they stitch you up or so, that it hurts even to like pee, to sit and stuff. And to me, it's like, well, thank God I didn't because I was let go the next day and I took a shower that same day when I came home, and I've been able to do everything as normal. I've been able to like sit, lay down, cook, clean, everything. And I love it. So I want to share what I did in order to have a normal vaginal birth. That way, hopefully, the people that do try this end up having a normal vaginal birth as well. But anyway, so one thing that I did that was like the most thing I think would be to drink water. I have two 32 ounces water bottles, and I would at least drink 4 or 5 each day, like full. And I'm pretty sure you could fit two water bottles in the 32 ounces. So if I would drink 4 to 5, let's say 8 to 10 water bottles per day. I would love it when I would drink more, obviously, but that was like at least my minimum was 4 water bottles. And I liked it. So also what I learned is that water, staying hydrated, it helps prevent jaundice on a baby. So if you have experience on other babies, or family members, friends that have babies that had jaundice, they had to stay, I think, extra days at the hospital because of it. And I wanted, like, when I learned that water, being hydrated and drinking a lot of water, well, not drinking a lot of water, but staying hydrated, I learned that that helps prevent the jaundice in the baby. So that's one of the things that I love, because also my baby was like go really fast. Um, the next thing, oh, on your third trimester, it prevents leg cramps. So if you hear like family members or anyone that has like had kids, like your mom, your aunt, your cousins, your friends, and say that they have had leg cramps in their third trimester, staying hydrated helps it. And I know because on the days that I wouldn't, well, there wasn't a lot of days, but when we were moving places in October, I was already in my third trimester, and I think it was that one day that we decided to not move everything, but decided to actually move from over there to over here because we had brought over here like stuff, like like a lot of stuff. And I think that day that we decided, I'm pretty sure I did not drink water that day, and that night I got like cramps. Let me not tell you. And they weren't bad, like severe, but they were like starting, and I was like, no. But water does help prevent like cramps, because after that I would drink water every day again, like the normal, and I didn't get them again. But that one day that I did not drink that good water, it happened. Um, what I would also do in the mornings when I would go to my mom's house, I would walk the dog. Well, take the dog with me on a walk, and I would try to walk at least a mile a day, like at least a mile. I would walk more than that. I would walk about, I think, 2 miles or a mile and a half. I would walk for at least 30, 35 minutes, but I would do over a mile. I think it was about 2 miles or so, but like every morning that would be my one thing. And if I didn't come to my mom's house, I would walk over there to from the house. Like we would live in Marina Del Rey. So from where we lived to the beach was at least 2 miles. I wouldn't walk all the way to the beach, but I would walk at least a mile and a half going and coming back. So 3 miles. I would walk at least 3 miles each day over there. And then also when me and my husband would think about like going out, wherever we would go, like if we would go to the market, shopping, I would tell him, let's park a little bit farther. That way I could just walk because I know walking is good. Or he would take me to the beach, or we would go to different, like, just different places. We would go, well, because of COVID, we can't really go shopping, like, mall wise. But when we would go, like, to stores and stuff, I would tell him to park at least a little bit farther. That way we could walk. And that also helped me. Trust me, I would try to run, but well, it's not that I would try to run, but I would think about running and I would tell my OBGYN, can I go run or so? And she'll be like, I don't remember if she'll tell me no or so, or why I couldn't, but I can't really remember the reason, but she would tell me to take a walk instead. And they would also give me like a paper or like a notebook of the different activities I would be able to do to stay active. And one of them was walking. So I would do walking. I would also do a lot of prenatal yoga, and the yoga basically helps you not just stretch, but it helps you breathe. Trust me, breathing helps when you're in labor because they would also tell me, like the nurses, so just breathe through the contractions. And when I would, they would tell me, like, okay, breathe in and then breathe out and so. And after I got like the hang of it, I guess, or when I first started, I don't know. I think it was because they would tell me, like, breathe in, breathe out. But they were like, oh, you're doing really good. Like, is this your first baby? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, you're doing really good for a first time mom. I'm like, well, thanks. But I'm like, and they're like, oh, would you practice your breathing? I'm like, no, I would just do like, and I would tell her, I'll be doing the yoga, the workouts, and I'll tell her, she's like, oh, because of the yoga. I'm like, well, yeah, they technically kind of teach you how to breathe. And trust me, it helps. Like, it helped a lot. I would also do prenatal workouts, which is which have like a bit of cardio, like pregnancy cardio, I guess. But it wasn't like hard cardio where you like go to the gym and you work out or you're pumping your body so hard. It's not those kind of cardios, but you do have a bit of cardio and then obviously stretches as well. And you kind of learn how to breathe there too, but not as much as the yoga. I would really recommend the prenatal yoga because that really helped me. Also, like, besides the workouts and stuff, they would tell you to do lunges, squats, like stretches as if you were doing the splits, but you're technically not. Well, if you know how to do the splits, why not, right? But like when you're doing the splits, you're basically your both of your legs are open, but when you do this stretch, just like one is regular, so like let's say your back leg is regular and then your front leg would be like crossed a bit or crossed as much as you can handle. You cannot put it straight. You'll just like have it dent a bit, like bent. And then you'll do the other side and basically you're stretching out your legs. But I would also do when I would be sitting down, whether it was here at my house or like at my mom's, or if we ever went out to eat, obviously I would wear pants, not dresses or anything. But I would basically try to sit with my legs open a bit too. Like, once you're like sit, well, because your belly, and especially in the third trimester when it's like big and you can't really cross your legs or so, you have them open, So I would try to keep them as wide as I could. Because I'm like, that helps too. So I'll sit with my legs open. I'll try to do like the stretching, I guess, the leg stretches. The prenatal workouts, prenatal yoga, walking every day. Let's see, what else would I do? Oh, I would also dance. So, like here, when I would just be home bored, I'll put on music. Like my husband has a sound system. So to me, I would go turn it on, put music, and like basically dance. Have like my own party here, I guess. And it'll be from everything. It'll be from, you know, to reggaeton, hip hop, to corridos, kind of like banda. Um, what else? Cumbias. Like I would try to do like a bit of everything. But in the third trimester, when I was I think 36 or 37 weeks, is when I started. When I started my hips, I started like moving them side to side because I know that that helps too. Well, I read. I'm not read, but I think I saw on TikTok, I think, of the doulas because I would follow a lot of doulas. And they would say that swaying your hips side to side helps. So I started doing that just like when I was washing dishes or so, or like cooking, and I wasn't dancing, I guess. I would just like sway my hips a bit. Especially when I was washing dishes because you can't really do much there. Um, also kegels. Like doing kegels helped. You're working out your vaginal tissues. I did that. You can also say I can't say I'm an expert or I know how to full on like those other girls twerk, but I know how to like move a bit, like pop and stuff. So I would do that. And when I would do my kegels, I would do the kegels and then I would end up twerking. Or my version of twerking. I will show you guys, but that's too much, I think. So I would do those. And also every morning, well, it's recommended every morning and night, instead of scratching yourself because your belly's itchy, to apply body oil. And the one that I read that was really good was Burt's Bees. It's Burt's Bees Mama Bee Nourishing Body Oil with Vitamin E. So this is the version that well, it's not the version, but it's the one that I have. So this is it. And I got this off Amazon. And I think it's like a pack of 3. Or this one came with a pack of 3. And now I'm in my second one. Because it says to apply it day and night. At least twice a day, to prevent stretch marks. Sorry, I should have started off. So it's to prevent stretch marks, and it did help me out. And also, my husband told me that this one helped as well. I forgot who in the family helped. One of his sisters, I think it was, and it's called Campana de la Campana. No, Pomada de la Campana. Dr. Brown's skin ointment. So this I have applied this one and it really did help. But when I think it was the week of my baby shower and I was 35 or 36 weeks at that time. And we were here. I remember that my husband was like cutting my brother's hair and I was with my sister-in-law and my sister. And my stomach started like burning. Like it burned so much. Like if I kind of was itchy, but yet it burned. And I was like, I don't know if the baby, I feel like if she has my skin and she's like scratching and she has to like like she is holding it because it hurted so bad. And I wanted to scratch so bad, but I was like, no, it hurts. I can't even scratch. I can't even touch my belly. So when I went to the restroom to go get I forgot which one I was going to apply, but I went to the restroom because I had them both in the restroom. And like in the door of the restroom there's a mirror. We have a mirror, and I basically put my shirt up where I could like put it and everything where I could see, and right there and then is when I saw like stretch marks, but like they were like super red, like they were barely becoming. And I applied it, and yeah, it did help because it stopped how much it hurted and the itchiness. And then I think it still happened another day. I forgot how many days after that it happened again. And I did the same thing. And yeah, it happened to me like at least 3 or 4 times. I forgot how many days or how it was apart. I can't remember if I doubt that it was day after day. I think it was like every 2 3 days or so. And yeah, like now I have like a bit of stretch marks, but they're not that much, and it's like a bit of them. I will show you guys, but then I had to stand up, and I kind of don't want to stand up because I had to move everything. I had to move the camera and everything. Um, but it did help because I have heard that stretch marks happen either in the first or second trimester, but for me, it didn't happen until I was 35, 36, or 7 weeks. I think it was between 35 and 36. Between those 2 weeks, it's when it started. And also I gave birth being 39 weeks and 5 days. Yeah, I was 5 days. So those are like one of the things I would like with the Burt's Bees. What I would also do, I would also, I know this is gonna sound weird to most of you, but I would also massage between my vagina and my anus, that like tissue or muscle tissue, whatever it's called. I would like massage it because I read that massaging also helps. So that one, like that Burt's Bees body oil, that one you could also use it there. It's not bad or so. So I would try to do it at least twice, 3 times a day. Like that helped as well. Sorry guys. Also, when I would have Braxton Hicks, but I think that only happened to me twice. I could only remember happening to me twice. The first time, I think it was in August or September, like early September. And also the second time it wasn't in September because both of these two Braxton Hicks experiences happened when we were living at the old place. And basically, the first time I started sweating a lot, like a lot. Well, I got hot and then I started sweating. Not a lot, but I did sweat. And it was kind of in the summertime when that happened. I think it was more in August. And I do remember that I went like on both occasions. I did like the doggy style position, and that helped a lot. Like it made the pain go away like within 5 to 10 minutes. It was in between those because I read, I think, how to, when you have them, I think it was on Google. I read that being in that position helps, and it did help me. Also, um well, what everyone says about like having sex and stuff, that helps induce labor. So to me, I can't say that it helped me induce labor or not because basically ever since I took out the IUD to get pregnant, my husband, we would do it. You know, we would do it. I'm not gonna tell you guys how many times a day, but we would like at least, well, not at least, but every day we would do it. Only in the summer was when we would be like, oh, it's too hot. Like we'll do it, and then we'll take a body shower, or shower. No, not a shower. We'll take mostly body showers, especially in the night. During the day, it would also be body showers. But yeah, basically, we did it every day during the pregnancy, except for like the summer days. And it could have been 1 to 2 days that we didn't, but other than that, it was practically every day. Not practically, but it was every day. But I have heard and read that it helps induce labor. So if you don't do it every day, do it at least, I think it's the week prior when you're 38 or 39. No, wait, I think when you're 39 weeks, or you can start when you're 38 as well. Ooh, I also saw that to induce your labor, eat spicy food. To me, I wouldn't eat spicy food that much during my first trimester because I would get heartburn. But in the second and third, I did, especially in the third one. I love spicy food. Now I like it as well, but I think in the third trimester was like, it wasn't my cravings, but it was like my thing to do, like every day, eat spicy food. Oh, and also being in doggy position when you're like in the second trimester, I think it is, it helps the baby go into labor position. Because when I was 32 weeks, I had another ultrasound to see how she was or so. And they told me that she was already in labor position. And then I was like, really? And they're like, yeah. And that when they told me, like, oh, being in that position helps. I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh. And they're like, do you do that? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, practically every day I do that position at least 5 to 10 minutes a day. You know, that also helped. So if you guys want to put baby, or not put, but to have your baby in labor position, try doing it like not every day, like how I did, but at least go on it when you're home and you have nothing to do, or you're on your phone and you want to lay on your stomach but you can't. Just go on that position, and that will help bring the baby into labor position with the head down, you know? Let me see, like what else would I do? Hmm. Okay, I think that's it. Sorry, it's because I wrote everything down as I'm looking. But I honestly loved my whole pregnancy and the whole labor because, like I said, my labor wasn't bad or anything, how I heard that other females have it. Also, when you start feeling the contractions like me, like I didn't know, I thought I had to go to a restroom. No, because when I started feeling the night prior to being in labor, I told my mom, because my mom and my sister came, because you know we're so anyway, they came and I told my mom, oh, I'm starting to feel like a bit of pain in my back, like cramps in my back and like lower back, my waist. And she like, really? You should like go on a walk or so because that will help. And I'm like, yeah, let me go get my beanie. I think it was because I had took a shower that day. Like, oh, you took a shower? I'm like, yeah, and it was cold. And she's like, no, never mind, just walk around the house. And so I'm like, oh, really? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. And basically, I did walk a bit. Again, I stretched, I danced a little or so, and that was it. And then after, me and my husband, well, we brushed our teeth and we went to bed. And that night was when on the night, it was like almost midnight when I started feeling the contractions. And I thought first, oh, I had to go to the restroom. So I went to the restroom. And basically, I used the restroom, I urinated, but it was like a bit. It was like if I had taken a shot. Like, I was only peeing a shot. And to me, it was like, okay, that's weird. But I had to pee like every few minutes, like every 5 less minutes. And to me, it's like, okay, that's too weird. But what also helped was taking a warm body shower. Like, letting warm hot water hit your back, that helped me, you know? Because that opened me faster. So when we went to the hospital, I was, I think, well, not faster, but I think I was like 3 centimeters. And then after, within an hour or two, the doctor came check me again, and I was 4 centimeters at a time. And then I think, I can't remember, they went 2 hours, if she went after 2 hours or 4 hours after, and I was already 6 centimeters open. And after that, it was 2 hours after that. Well, I remember that was like 8 o'clock in the morning, and like around 10:50. Yeah, like around 10:50 in the morning. That's when they checked me again. I wasn't the same one because I had changed shifts. But when they checked me again, I was already full on 10. And that's when they told me, okay, you can push and sew. And basically, I had like my baby an hour and a half later. Because I wouldn't push through every contraction. I would push like every 2 to 3 contractions. When the nurse would tell me, okay, push or sew. And and I was like, okay. But I didn't have my baby until 12:23. So it was about an hour and a half later when they told me to start pushing. And obviously, I loved my whole pregnancy and my whole labor. I even told my husband after that, I'm like, I want to get pregnant again. I kind of miss my belly. But having our daughter is so good. But yeah, guys. Oh, and also my baby was born weighing 6 pounds. Flat, 6 pounds. So these are all the tips and tricks that I would tell you guys to do that I did that helped me. So hopefully if you try any of these, or if you do all of these, hopefully they help you. Because yes, I know every pregnancy is different, but I mean, you could only do what you're not told, but do what you think is right. And if every pregnancy, like, you have good labors and everything, then congratulations, that's good. I'm going to try to do all of these things my next labor that I have, or the next pregnancies. How many pregnancies am I going to have? Who knows, because I actually like being pregnant this time. So my next one, hopefully it's as good as this time. But anyway, I just wanted to share out what I did, and hopefully these help you out. So congratulations if you're pregnant. Hopefully you and your baby are great and come out great when you're in labor, and hopefully you don't have to get emergency C-section or anything. So again, congrats, and wish you both good luck.